Hi everyone, welcome to Cosmic Turtles. My name is Tina, and today we're doing a cosmic reading. Cosmic reading, collective reading. Everything went cosmic for a second. I did some breathing exercise before I turned the camera on, and just to center a line and not just, well, in a way, center a line, jump into myself so I can jump into the subject, right? So, my camera says I have so many minutes. That's good. I got enough time and enough space. All right. Let's see what we got for the collective. It's such a beautiful day here. I wanted to be outside, but I forgot my thing to hold the phone up to record, and I'm like, oh boy. And then I have a course with full-time purpose. Aaron, Vic, and Matt, they are the main creators of this. And it's called FTP, Full-Time Purpose. You can get a course curriculum. You can find out what it's about. Check their site. And it really helps with opening you up, having breakthroughs, and really aligning yourself to your purpose. And I love the title, because you get to do your purpose full time. Okay, and they show you how, step by step, and they give you the coaching, and it's the conscious business way of life now. It's conscious. A lot of people would say they have a spiritually based business. And I like the terminology conscious business. Because then if you're conscious, you're doing things on purpose. And it doesn't have to be an actual business. You could use the same method with your own life. When you're looking at things from the inside out. And when you do that, you're seeing where your blockages are. And the info they were giving was connecting dots on the inside, and it was slowly removing limiting beliefs that were still in there. And it connected dots to the information you already lived through, you already experienced. There's so many experiences in our lives that we haven't extracted the wisdom or the lessons from them so that we can formulate and see the wisdom in them. I think I said that right. Yes? Okay. And from that standpoint, it sets you free. And this is what I'm discovering with myself. And there's a part in the course which is really nice. It's an acronym. It says CCIA. And I had already known this, but this time it's a quick catchphrase. So I'm like, oh, I like the way they say it, but I like the way I discovered it in the first place too. CCIA is conscious or consistent conscious imperfect action, which means you align to your purpose and you get into it. Even if you're not perfect, because nobody really is. But we're perfect in our ways of evolving, right? We all learn. Slow, fast, doesn't matter. We're all learning. We're all evolving. We're expanding our minds and opening our hearts and being able to receive. And we surrender the distractions. We let them go, and we surrender to what is benevolent and there for you, for your advancement. I really like that perspective. It's very open. It has a lot of space that you can move around in and just be. And from that standpoint, you can expand and create your own sacred space on the inside. Now, that's mine. And it's shared. but it's mine. It's what I'm going to share what I've learned in my life and the perspective I gained. And each person gets there through their own travels and their own path. And with my initial intention is I want to help people become self-empowered, and I want to help them learn how to connect to their internal guidance and to really listen to it. And before you even get there, there's a lot of shedding and letting go. It's like the onion, and you're removing layers and going deeper and deeper till you reach your core. And your core is the you that is already its highest potential. That's you, that spark. That's what each one of us, having a human experience, is seeking and reaching for. At the core, at the depths of you, you seek that connection back to all that is, back to the divine, back to source, back to the universe. So this is where I'm really motivated right now. And the first card that came out, collaboration. See, the whole collective, and this energy was given to the collective or came to the collective a few years back, and it was about unity consciousness, creating unity consciousness. That word came, it may have been channeled through, I don't remember exactly where it came from, but I know when I heard it, it resonated. It was like spot on, when they say you hit the nail right on the head, like it really, yes, that's what we're all evolving towards. And some of us are becoming consciously aware, and then learning how to maintain that awareness in a conscious way, moment to moment. When you first wake up, you can hold the energy, you have this awesome experience, and that energy, you have it, and then it kind of through the days, getting back into the distraction and the drama and the ego and everything like that, like it feels like that initial wow moment that you had kind of slows down a bit, or is not as prominent in your face. And that's when you learn that's when you start learning a pattern with yourself, when you have the next awakening, and then the next one, and the next one, and then it's like the gap is getting, until you're able to go into your everyday experience, living on purpose, consciously aware of you, your internal workings, and how you relate and how you belong in this human experience with everyone else that's in the collective as well. Now, mind you, there's a lot of people, they have deep wounds and traumas and pains and things that prevent them from getting there. But there's some of us that are waking up and we're feeling the call to become the life coach, to become the helper, to be that support, to be the solution finders, to be, in my case, the teacher. And to explain this process that happens to you. And mine specifically, I already got to know it in the last 2 years. Mine specifically is like the internal journey and how it reflects into your outer reality and changes things, all in reference to how you keep yourself in alignment. Okay? So I have a course, or it's like a course or workshop. It's kind of like a book, but just reading it, yes, for those that just reading is great. I'll put a lot of expressions. I like doing the video part. Although speaking, I will speak, and I'll start talking. Then I'll get so excited, I'll miss words. And I've noticed that with friends and family, and then they'll see that, and then they don't get what I'm saying, and I was like, oh. So when I sit down and I write, I could miss words, but when I read it again, I add in what I missed. But if I look at myself in the video, I'll see where I can add, where there was supposed to be an add in, and I missed it, and I'll recognize it. So I like the video. It's more for me. However, I still like to share because it's part of that CCIA, consistent, conscious, it's conscious, consistent, imperfect action. Okay. So anyway, and the first card that came out was collaboration. For the collective, you are invited to collaborate with people of like mind. They're coming out of the woodworks now. They're no longer in hermit mode or hiding, or some are still, but those that are ready to emerge, that group of you that's ready to emerge, there's a saying that's coming to mind. For those of you that are waiting to emerge, or that are ready to emerge, this is the saying, when the teacher is ready, the students will appear. And this is also true from the student's viewpoint, from the student's perspective. Like, when the student is ready to learn, the teachers will appear. Okay? My experience has been mostly, since I was 5 years old, my experience has been internal. I appeared aloof. I appeared disconnected. I'd observe. I spent most of my grade school observing, and when I did interact, I had low self-esteem, so I got picked on and bullied. And I didn't know at the time that I had low self-esteem, or I didn't know at the time that, because the reason why I woke up at 5 years old is because I had an experience that made me lose trust in this reality, in this life. So I went inside. A lot of people that are going through their dark night of the soul, this is what happened to them too. It's the same pattern, not the same details of events, but it's the same pattern, and how we human reacts to it is similar. So when you have a major event or experience that traumatized you in a way that you completely lost trust, you will disconnect from this reality and you'll go inside. So it's the fight or flight, it's the run and hide. However, inside I got guidance. There's a lot of helpers. I got guidance through my dreams, through my intuitive promptings. Being so young, I had more access to my intuition at the time, until I decided in my 20, before my 20s, I decided to get into the 3D experience, to get into it. Kind of like, it was similar to, I only learned to swim when I was 14, because I got thrown in a pool when I was 5. And I told the person, I don't know how to swim, so I'm just going to take the stairs and go into the water. They laughed, they grabbed me, and they threw me in. in the water, I had a spiritual experience. I was dying, but I had a spiritual experience, and I remember it. That experience was, I'm in the water, I'm crouched up in a little ball, looking in front of me, and I see my birth mother's legs, and I'm getting angry. Because first of all, he didn't listen to me, her boyfriend at the time. He threw me in the water. He didn't listen to me when I said, I don't know how to swim, and I'm going to walk in the water. I'm going to take the stairs and go in the water. So I'm pissed off. Being an Aries, that's maybe one of the first fire sign. I looked at my mom's legs, and I could hear my own thoughts. And I said, why is my mom's legs over there? Why isn't she coming towards me? Like, I'm drowning here. And then I took a few breaths, like, because I'm mad. And then I heard a voice, a male voice, a young male's voice. And he said, he said something. There was no words. But I knew. And I listened. But before he said something, it's like the presence was being felt. And I happened to look up, and everything was white light. And we're in an indoor pool. So there's no possible way. It can't be that the clouds moved away and the sun was shining and that's why I saw light. No. So I heard this voice, and I heard something. And it felt like he said, do you want to go home? Because I didn't hear any words. I just had a knowing of what was being said. And I heard my own thoughts saying, I can't go home now. I'm going to make my stepmom and dad cry. Because I was in a visit seeing my birth mom for a few weeks. And then I heard the voice again, but this time he said, I heard words. And he says, well, stand up then. And I kind of I looked, and I looked down, and I thought about it for a few seconds. And then I said, okay. Like, I didn't say anything. I just chose to just stand up. When I stood up, I had water up to here. And, of course, I had breathed some water in. So it hurt when I was coming back out and I was coughing. And the rest of them were laughing. To me, this was the first most traumatic experience that I lived while being consciously aware, because I don't remember being born. For most people, that is a traumatic experience, but through regression, you can go and look and see how it was. Some people have new beginnings with that. So that was my first experience. And they were all laughing, and I yelled out. I embarrassed them. I yelled out because I was still mad. Even though I saw the light and I heard the guidance and everything, and I was like, okay, cool. It was familiar. It was safe. I listened. I knew it was real. It's like I knew them. And I was still mad. And I yelled at them. I said, it's not funny. I was drowning. And when and then they said, okay, we're leaving, because they got embarrassed. I remember their blow drying our hair and stuff in the changing room, and getting out of the wet clothes. We're gonna go see the giant turtles at the zoo. We're gonna do that. I stayed pissed off at them for the rest of the day, pretty much. And then after sleep, I forgot about it. I forgot about the whole thing until I was in my 20s. That's quite a moment. I forgot the whole story, but the initial trauma had me be afraid of going into the water. And I may be an Aries sign, but I'm a water Aries, because my ascendant is a water sign and my moon sign is a water sign, and so I'm a very gentle Aries. I get to the point, but gently. Okay, so it's that support. I'm a promoter, supporter, so it's that supportive side of me, that nurturing side. And if I was to compare promoter supporter to teachings I've learned about integrating your divine masculine and feminine, I would say my divine feminine is the supporter side and my promoter side is my divine masculine. And he's very comical and he's to the point and blunt, and so I've integrated both of them, and now when I speak with both of them in the same in this. It's like you have it's a harmonics. That's what comes out in the voice, in the sound, in the energy. And that's what I can give to people. My own integration can be a gift for others. So collaboration was the first card. It took me till I was 14 before I chose and said, I'm going to overcome this fear. I already knew at 14 to do this. And I did. And I learned to float first, and then my dad showed me how to swim sideways, which was better than front ways, or else I feel like I'm going to go under again. So I like the sideways swimming, and that's what I do, or just float. And I got used to it. I got used to the feeling of water. And water, in my teachings, is connected to emotions, but on a greater scale. The moon regulates the tides on the earth and also affects the water in a human being. And all that connects to emotions. So clearing your channel, is purifying the water inside of you. So that's just a side note. But after 14... I went to school. I noticed that I was saying out loud, like I didn't realize I was intuitive, empathic. I didn't know those terminologies. All I had was feelings, and I didn't have the words, or all I had was a sense of things, and I didn't know specifically what it was. And I would see someone's talking and I perceive something, and then I blurt out what I saw, and most times, all the time, I was saying out loud what these people were keeping hidden inside of them, and it's like I revealed a truth that was within them. Either I said what their blockage was, and it's like I was saying out loud about the skeletons they have in their closet, because I just perceive it. But for me, I did it in a happy way. There was nothing to be embarrassed about, and I did not understand why they were so embarrassed. And so after seeing that a lot of people kind of didn't want to hang out with me because I could see through them, I kind of shut down. I took it personally. I didn't use the Q-tip. Q-tip. Keep it. Oh, jeez. I just had it. Q-tip method. I don't take it personally. That's what Q-tip is. But wait, I'll look it up. I want to have a good one for all of you that are listening. I know I have it here. I put so many notes today. It's unbelievable. I can't say no. It's amazing. I have to believe it. I just did it. I can't deny my own experience, right? There's my divine masculine coming through, but in a gentle way. I like it. Keep Q-tip. Okay, there's an acronym called Q-tip, and it's about keep. I forget. I don't know what the T is. Oh, quit taking it personally. There we go. I get distracted because, there's another thing about the CCIA is that right now I displayed a moment where I'm trying to be that perfectionist. So my ego is trying to be heard at that moment. And just the realization of it is going to soothe it, and then I will catch it before it even happens the next time. So this is just an example of how some of these things work. I know some of you are looking for readings, and the readings come, this is like a tool, and it's to help with trusting your own channel. Okay, so that's the progression over the last 2 years. I believe I've had this channel, and I've seen the progression myself. I'll go and listen to another reading from way back, and it's like, oh yeah, I was going through that, and that's why oh sweet, and I could see my own development. That's why I really like videos. So let's see what else we got for the collective, if it is to happen. Woohoo! Queen of Swords. Quit taking things personally. Cut through the BS. Your own BS, not other people's. That's only a reflection. That's what you attracted, because your magnet was set in a certain way. It was set on the importance of the outer reality. Yes, it is important, but first and foremost, see what your internal workings are so you can attract what you do want in your life. This is a work, it's a full-time purpose. And it's an individual journey. And you get to do this for yourself. It's when you're ready. You'll get a call. You'll go through these things. And at a certain moment somewhere, you're going to seek and ask for help. And then you'll find this channel. You'll find others. You'll find people that you'll find exactly what you need at the moment you need it, because you chose to seek inside of yourself for solutions to change the outside of yourself, so it could be a good flow in between the two realities. Okay? So there's a saying, as above, so below. It's also so below as above. It's also from one extreme of the spectrum to the other side of the spectrum. That's when I start telling people, find your middle. What is your middle? Okay, that's because you're on the 3D line, the 3D and 4D. 4D is the time factor. That as a human experience, we're going to have time. And as a spirit, in spirit form, time don't exist. The past, present, future is all one. It's at first I found it difficult to conceptualize, to cognize that concept. Okay? And after a while, I started seeing from the inside out. And then there was certain ways that life would show, with synchronicities, with just moments that just, holy jeez, I was just thinking about that, or oh my goodness, I just talked about that 2 days ago. I wanted to see this, and now here it is. Okay, so Queen of Swords came out. She is emotionally charged. However, she's a queen, so she keeps her emotions as fuel. Emotions are the fuel of your askings. If I'm asking to have one good day, now it depends with what emotion you're pushing this asking with. What kind of fuel are you using? Are you asking out of desperation? Because it's not the words that the universe hears. It's how you're feeling that the universe hears. How you're feeling. And how you're feeling shows in what polarity your magnet is set. You can have a conversation with someone. Once you get aware of these things, you can have a conversation with someone, and by the words they're choosing, or they got in the habit of using, or by the tonality, like the tones, the sound that comes out, and which feeling you can sense when they're speaking. You can tell a lot about a person just by that. You can tell where they're at. But the only way you'll be able to see is if you started seeing it within yourself. You can read every book you want, but if you didn't see it in yourself first, you won't perceive it in a deep way. You will perceive the surface stuff, which was most of my experience anyway at first, until I had that traumatizing event, and then it shut down, so I was on automatic pilot for a few years. Next time I had a moment of consciousness and awakening, I was 14, and then the next one after that I was 21, and then the next one after that I was 36, and then after that I've really held being consciously aware within the last 5 years. Now I was doing the work. Now I was ready for the rest of my dark night of the soul. The rest, the residuals, the pieces, the parts need to come and heal this 3D quality of me. And to align all my channels so I could be a clear channel. I mean, we're not perfect. One day we'll have a lower down, and then it's up to us to realize we're still at work. We're still doing our internal work. But it's not work. We're giving ourselves the gift of being in a good way. Think of it as you're treating yourself like your own best friend. And that was the words I used in some of my readings last year and the year before. You're the only one in your own shoes. Treat yourself like your own best friend, because you're the only one that knows what you need for yourself. And I was speaking from the inside, your inside, where it has access to your intuition, your higher self, your highest potential. I wasn't talking about the ego and how it perceives and how it judges and criticizes. Okay? The ego is your friend, but I learned a saying that made a lot of sense, because I could kind of catch it when it's totally ego. And I'm like, oh geez, I even started having a little bit of spiritual egotism. And I was like, oh, wait, yeah. And when I read the definition of what that is, because it showed itself, I happened to see it or scroll, and oh, okay. That's what I've been doing. Like a little bit in a mild way, but it still affected my whole reality. So, mustard seed of belief, whether it's for the negative or the positive, you will get a mountain of an experience. So it is up to you to choose how you want to polarize yourself. Okay? In this 3D experience, you'll always have duality. And it's about your strength and your growth will come from maintaining the balance about yourself on a day-to-day, moment-to-moment basis, and allowing yourself to be vulnerable, to say, I'm not perfect, and to show support, because all this openness and vulnerability and compassionate action between each others, all this is building the momentum for unity consciousness and allowing for the expansion of the whole collective. And maybe what I heal in me personally heals that same thing in a small percentage in everybody else, so it's not so hard on them. Some of us came in to be the trailblazers. We were gung-ho to come in. We had the experiences that touched us at our core right away. It brought us to our knees. And it was up to us to either give up, get out, or surrender, go through, get to the other side, and then receive. Okay. So this has been your Message Collective. I've already been speaking 35 minutes, and I have another course to get to. So thank you very much for listening to the channeling here that come through and all my learnings, and I'm so happy to share with all of you. If this resonates or help you in any way, I've done what I'm supposed to do. Thank you for helping me in my purpose. And if you want to hear more, tune in next time. Later.